Let's
give it a shot.
All right.
I'm wondering, like, once you get there, if you tap on the accelerator, will it just then continue on? And
it's a nice pull out there.
So we're leaving the Apple store here in Union Square in San Francisco, headed to Coit Tower with a little diversion on the way just to see.
So I guess we're driving through Chinatown because of Grant Avenue.
Yep.
So that'll be kind of interesting.
There's Salesforce in front of us. Version 12.3.
All right, we're getting into the left turn lane.
It's a nice night out.
Yeah. Finally not raining.
Oh. Going 15 miles per hour and a 20 toward the yellow red light.
How's the Cybertruck treating you?
Good. It's out on a rental right now.
Oh yeah?
Broke the glass Monday morning.
And got it fixed?
And got it fixed same day and had a rental that night.
Nice.
So fortunately,
that's crazy.
Oh, I'd already talked to the team. Well, I had said to the team in the service menu, front and rear driver's side glass quote. And they provided the quote. They said, "Is it already broken?" I said, "No, but it will be by the time that I've got my service appointment."
But it's pretty tough from your video.
Oh, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I think people, I put the single clip out there because I thought that might be the most viral just by itself, separate from the full video. But I think people that missed the quote of, second time's a charm, missed the fact that was the fourth time we were throwing that ball.
That's crazy.
Because Gabe had already tried once,
and just like
twice.
Just like the 2019 incident, it didn't go through,
Yes.
Which is pretty powerful, if someone's trying to hurt you or you got some crackhead or something.
Yeah, and again, that's a 5-pound steel ball thrown at let's say at least 40 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Maybe even double that.
Right.
I don't know throwing speeds. I don't know how fast Gabe could throw a ball that heavy, but that's a lot of force.
Right. Yeah, it's a pretty great vehicle. It definitely lives up to sort of the idea that it's just not very fragile, that it's tough.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I definitely don't, I don't worry about shopping carts. I don't worry about where I park it as much as the other Teslas I have.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of funny. John from Tesla Silicon Valley has been throwing a lot of smaller balls at it, and there's a fear to throw anything significant. Now I think I don't think people should try to break their glass, but yeah, you can hit that thing with a golf ball 100 times, and nothing's gonna happen.
Oh wow! So it actually got in this lane going straight. It's always gone in this. Well, okay, but it stopped way far back.
Yeah, I mean, is it confused by the right-hand turn sign?
It's weird. The visualization is showing stop signs in the road.
There are red lights.
It's almost like the red lanterns for Chinese New Year's
look like stop signs.
Yeah, but this visualization could be like the old version.
Let's wait to see what happens. The light turned green, but it still sees what it thinks are stop signs. You're going to give it a little bit of a nudge.
Pushing the accelerator.
Yeah. Those lanterns tripped it.
That's funny.
That's an edge case right there.
It's hesitating again.
That's one of the more interesting edge cases I've ever seen, these red lanterns.
Yeah. Huh.
And now it just stopped again without actually showing the lanterns. But it does, once again, in the distance.
Yeah, it's interpreting it as a red light.
And now that light did turn red.
And then, we're seeing stop signs appear again. So it's kind of creeping now. I think maybe it realized they're lanterns. I think when the other car passed, it realized that.
It seems like it, but it's still. Yeah, okay.
When the other car passed, I think something clicked for it that, okay. And then, look, these red lanterns aren't lit up ahead.
Yeah, so it should be fine with those. But that was interesting.
That was really interesting.
I'm so glad we came this way.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like, again, let's find the edge cases and solve for them. We may have just happened upon one because of the road that we were on.
Yeah, I think...
At this hour.
Yeah, so, I think it's still not perfect. There's still some things here and there, but you can really tell that this architecture is a winning architecture, I think.
Absolutely.
Or at least it's the right path.
Yep. Because, again, once you collect enough data and...
So, red lanterns off, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the lanterns lit up red that was confusing.
It's the exact same color of red, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't...
But you know, obviously that would never trip up a human.
Sure.
A human would never get confused.
I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think if there's no other cars around, well, because there's multiple.
Maybe if you're not paying attention, you're kind of like
if your eyes are a little bit
spacing
blurry,
out.
I could see, if you're older, I could see you being like, wait, is that multiple red lights up ahead? I'm confused. Like from this distance, I'm looking at the ones that, like half a mile down the road. I'm like, that could be easily mistaken for red lights. It's the exact same color, roughly the same size. I could see why, is what I'm trying to say. I could see, because there's a pedestrian crossing when we've got a green, switched to yellow. It was almost like the pedestrian wasn't there, but it saw it on the mind's eye of the display.
Okay, it needs to make a right here. Oh, but it says no right turn on red.
Oh, okay.
So it is making an illegal right turn on red, but it did it well.
Yeah, if you ignore I mean, a human might turn right on that red, not seeing that sign.
I might have turned red. I might have turned right on red.
It was safe.
Anyway.
The way that it did it was safe. It wasn't legal.
Exactly. Okay, so now we got a blinking red here. The right thing to do would be to go.
Killing it with these difficult situations.
It's normally it handles this fine.
It seems like it is. It's inching forward.
But it's this Tesla's highlighted blue, so maybe it's waiting for that to pass. No, it looks a little stuck.
1 second. I'll give it another second. Don't help it because I think it's gonna figure it out.
It's kind of weird. I don't know.
It's inching.
Yeah. I think
let the Ultima go. Now once the intersection's clear, I feel like it's gonna go.
I think it was maybe a little confused by that guy why he was waiting there. I don't know.
I just want to confirm. I did not see you use the pedals.
I didn't use the accelerator.
Perfect. I mean,
that's an example of hesitancy.
Yeah, I don't.
12.2 was very hesitant. It would do that kind of thing a lot.
Yeah.
So check this out. We have a Waymo and a Tesla at an intersection. There's no humans at this intersection. Only computers.
And flashing red lights.
Yeah. So it looks like it's kind of getting stuck again.
And it very briefly made one of the cars over there that is off blue on the screen. Yeah. Now that one's coming. So it's inching
Pedestrian
forward.
Too. Yeah, it's weird. It seems to wait for the whole street intersection to clear before proceeding.
Which could be a problem if it was more crowded. But wow, we are just hitting it with these.
Yeah, I mean, in certain parts of San Francisco, they make these they make these traffic lights flash red at night every day.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, because it's kind of like
oh my god, it feels like it's actually like stopping on the red. And
it looks like it's going between green and red.
Oh, it thinks it's turning green. Oh no. Okay, they're gonna have to override that or change that at some point. Okay, is it stopped?
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna push the accelerator. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's strange because other versions of 12 handled blinking reds no problem. So I don't know if it's just something with this build or something with this intersection or what, but that seems to be kind of a step back. Okay, again, it's doing the same thing.
This behavior could make someone car sick.
Yeah. It's stupid.
It's funny how it's inching forward, and at least on the other ones.
There is a guy on a scooter that could also be affecting it.
So minutely. It should go at this point. There's no question that a pedestrian, a normal.
It's almost like every time every time the light turns off, it moves an inch, and then it sees that it's red and it stops.
Oh, I was wrong. Oh, I was wrong again. Oh, and it went without.
No, I pushed the accelerator.
You did help that one.
It looked like it was just going to be stuck there forever.
Mm-hmm. But 2 of them it eventually figured out, and 2 of them we got impatient and we pushed it to.
I mean, that's I have no doubt that they're going to be able to fix that.
Yeah. It's a very interesting environmental.
Yeah, they're probably just trying to make it lean towards not running any red lights, and that's why maybe it needs some fine tuning on that kind of situation.
Mm-hmm. And I also don't know that rate of flashing red felt.
There's a pedestrian. Yeah, it could be. It did seem like it was flashing a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I don't know if it was irregular, but it felt irregular.
Yeah, I mean, it's common in this part of SF, so. I mean,
I've lived here several years. I've never experienced that at night. I drive that road at night, so.
It's kind of this part of town, like more of the downtown part. Chinatown, that kind of.
common streets, and it's once again back to very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Normal stop sign, empty intersection this late at night.
Good takeoff.
Yep, very smooth.
All right, next we're making a right turn onto Jones Street. Not as annoying as 11 on the stop signs. It stops and it goes.
Mm-hmm. It comes to a really smooth stop too. It doesn't really firm stop and then.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even feel that sort of moment of stopping.
Mm-hmm. Which is the best way to do it.
All right, so this looks like your first pin up ahead. It's kind of creeping at the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure you can see. It's much better at knowing when it has visibility and when it doesn't. But it sometimes gets stuck when it doesn't have visibility.
I mean, that makes sense.
The creeping is something that needs to be refined a little bit. Okay, so... Oh, so this is what you did.
I made it too difficult, probably. That's a dead end there. It's not really an option to do what I was suggesting.
But,
I'll just edit it and change the destination.
Coit Tower.
Navigate to. You don't need to say navigate to anymore?
You haven't for a while.
I haven't even tried, so I didn't bother.
Let's see.
All right, so without using the brakes or pedals, you overrode its end location?
Yeah, see, this is the thing, is you can just give it a new destination, it'll pull over and then pull back into the road and just continue. Yeah.
I mean, I know it's done that for a little bit, but
right.
It was nice to see how you did that. I was thinking you were going to tap the brake and start a new drive, but you just changed the destination.
Yeah, you don't need to do any driving at all. All right, we're going over a kind of steep hill here. There's some parked cars on the side. There's a car coming. And it's proceeding down this hill at a very comfortable speed.
This Tesla's going toward the middle.
Yeah.
They were doing.
They were probably on FSD Beta 11.
Probably testing it too? Oh, you're on there on the prior version.
Yeah. That looked like something FSD Beta 11 might do.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. It drives in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Especially
and then moves over, yeah.
No lane lines.
Yeah.
There we go, Coit Tower up there.
All right, so we're creeping over this hill. Very steep hill. It's like going a little too slow, but...
Yeah, once it finished creeping over, like once it could see, I would have thought it would have accelerated a little bit more, but it's fine, especially with how close it is to these cars. Which isn't unreasonably close either, though. It's just...
Perfect distance,
yeah.
All right, we're at the bottom of the hill now. There's one other car at the intersection. It looks like it's waiting for it.
Yeah, was it there first? I think it was there first, accelerated a little bit, and stopped again. And by now, it now has permission to go, or it should go.
Uh-huh.
And it's not yet going.
It's kind of stopped here for some... Huh?
That was a weird braking behavior. It released the brake and then immediately applied it again.
Yeah. Strange.
All right. It's looking like you might have to help it.
Yeah. Weird. I feel like it kind of was thrown off by maybe the bottom of the hill. Like maybe the occupancy network kind of made it think that there was something in front of it.
Yeah, I'm wondering exactly that. Like, was that a visibility issue? Probably not. What, did it think that there was an object parked in front of us? Potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is some of the hesitancy I was seeing in 12.2. So looks like it's not completely gone, but does seem to be substantially improved from the prior build.
Are you referring to the hesitancy of that red light thing or of the hill thing?
Just like in general, getting stuck or like not moving, requiring an accelerator press, being too cautious. That's kind of what I was seeing with 12.2.
Doesn't feel like that significantly cautious. I'm surprised that you're saying that. I'm
you know, in 12.2 it was really bad.
Okay.
It was driving like a grandma, and now it's significantly better. But you're still seeing a little bit of it.
Yeah, like right here. This is that one was a little bit more hesitant than
I mean, I was just talking about even like at the bottom of that hill, it was just waiting.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if that's like a waiting hesitancy issue or if it's just like a situational I don't know what to do here issue. I consider like hesitation of just like slowing when it could be going versus like stopping.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of does that type of thing a lot, or at least 12.2 did. 12.3 seems to be doing that less, but still occasionally you can see it crop up.
If it stays stopped when it should be go, I don't consider that hesitant. I consider that like not aware enough of the situation versus if it's slowing or like...
I mean, whatever you want to call it, it has a lot of those issues where it is too slow or it gets stuck.
Okay, yeah.
Or 12.2 did. 12.3 seems to have it less.
Much less, supposedly. I guess I haven't experienced it, but it feels like it's not that common.
I mean, they kind of have to err on the side of being, like this was
That's not good.
That was one of the things that 12.2 would do, is it would go at the stop sign and then stop again. And it would basically stop twice at every stop sign.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that's the first time that's really happened like that, when it had a completely clear intersection and stopped and then...
Yeah, it probably thought it saw something. Like probably something popped up into its visibility, like a motorcycle or something that it thought might be moving for a second. That's when it can tend to do things like that.
And then it's back to just being smooth and good.
Yeah. Now this road, I remember it would always just go up way too fast. But
it's a sharp turn here.
Yeah. So it would really go up this way too fast. I'd have to slide down the speed really quickly. But with the new auto speed functionality, it just does it just right. No need to adjust anything.
Especially all these cars here, that Subaru being so far back, it's going over the lane line as it should.
Right.
It would have to. Stopping for the stop sign. Smooth acceleration out.
Got kind of a rock wall here. Keeping a good distance from that. Driving a little bit on the lane. Just honestly kind of where I drive if there's nobody on the other side.
100%. I would. There's a pedestrian walking around the roundabout. Like I obviously just want to see it go around the roundabout, so I'm going to change our destination.
Well, don't do it that close. Let's give it the real destination we want to go to.
Sure, yeah.
So where should we go?
Back to Zuckerberg or back,
we could go back
to your place? I've got my one wheel, so whatever works with you.
Well, that's a long way to one wheel.
I can do it. It's got the range.
I mean, it's probably a lot of hills and stuff. I can drop you back closer to your place.
Sure. I mean, whatever works. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let's see. Alright, so we're going to Zuckerberg Hospital. There's some cars going around us, so it waited for those cars.
Starting at Coit Tower. Going around the roundabout here, which...
We got a pedestrian. Notice how it didn't stop fully for the pedestrian like FSD11 would. It just slowed and kind of went the natural speed. There was a guy reversing, which
We're going to see the same pedestrian again. It slows nicely for him.
Yeah, so it slowed when it needed to slow, but when it didn't need to slow, it didn't. Okay, and then look at this. Now it's anticipating the pedestrian was maybe going to cross the crosswalk.
Wow, yeah. And then because he went up the stairs...
It decided to proceed. Okay.
Right about now, I would normally be accelerating a little bit faster than it's accelerating. But it is a bumpy road here with some sharp turns. It is now accelerating more at a reasonable rate.
Yeah, there's a car behind us that's getting annoyed.
But now that we're actually...
Here's a stop sign that it always used to run before.
And it's stopping by itself.
Stopping a little bit over the line, but
Was it?
A little, yeah.
Okay.
But, acceptable.
Close to the curb here. Okay. Okay, close to the bush here.
It went around the bush. That was
Wow.
nice.
Enough around it, just barely. Sometimes I think the reason why we've not seen FSD or autopilot on the Cybertruck is because it's just, that little bit wider, and it would have caught the bush there.
Well, I mean, you just offset a little more.
Yeah, I mean that somewhat jokingly, but it's getting dang close here to these bushes.
I mean, I guess maybe you're a little bit closer to them, but it's always been pretty good at offsetting for bushes. Even 11 could handle that pretty well.
Okay.
It has a very good sense of what the actual boundaries of the car are. Not that I'm saying people should be overconfident in it, but it tends to not really brush up against foliage or have issues with things like that generally.
I'm being a little bit pedantic here. On the way up to Coit Tower, one branch did hit the mirror, but that's again, a normal person might drive and do that too. So not extremely concerning, but it is just that did happen.
I mean, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, there's a small branch. So nice, good speed into that, good braking behavior. Yeah, very human braking, very human accelerating out of that. Very nice.
All right, we got another stop sign. Right here it says do not enter. I think we need to go left or something. Oh,
We're need to go right
interesting.
and then left. Stop light there, perfectly handled.
Okay.
This is how it has to be, and then it turns green. Makes a really smooth turn around the center island there. Accelerates to the next red while merging. Very nice. Yeah, that was perfect.
And looks like we're gonna get on the freeway again.
Oh, really? There we go. Yeah. I was impressed by the freeway earlier, especially with the couple miles that it did.
It's pretty amazing on the highway.
So Yaris is sticking out just a little bit, but almost like it wasn't there. It just kind of went around it. Very smooth turn onto that road there.
I mean, imagine 12.4, 12.5, 12.6.
Yes.
Or, each of the next builds, how they're going to continue to get better from here.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm just like, again, because I've got 13 cars that I car share, I'm like, the iterations I'm less excited about. I'm looking for the big jumps. And for me, because I haven't yet experienced V12 at all, I feel like this gets so much further along than any V11 I've used.
Yeah.
As far as just comfort and feeling a little bit less robotic.
Right. Comfort is the bottom line, I think. Okay, here we are on these red lights again.
Yeah. It's like this kind of thing again. I'm like, the point updates to me need to fix things like this, obviously, because this behavior will make you car sick if it's repeated.
Right.
But that one you did not help out. It got through it better.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's relatively minor stuff. I'm sure they'll be able to fix it pretty easily.
It feels much more minor. Now, I'm obviously wondering if the way that version 12 thinks, or I call it thinks, the way that version 12 works, does it...
I'm going to give it an accelerator press.
Yeah. Is it easy to solve things like this? You know, it may have been easy. Well, I don't. You know, maybe more than I would.
I mean, presumably, all you need to do is just feed it clips of
correct behavior
of people driving this.
Mm-hmm. I hope that it's that easy, and it probably could or should be. There's a person.
I mean, yeah, that's what you do. There's no other code to update.
Yeah, but it's like, in a way, it's like, how do they not have enough clips shown to it already, if that's the case? Obviously, it's a compute process, so is it just a matter of, you know, keep the computers on and figure it out?
Well, they probably just wanted to bias it towards stopping at red lights and not running any red lights.
Sure.
So that's kind of like goal number one.
But I guess what I'm saying then
handling blinking red lights is less important than stopping.
My concern is when you show it a lot of blinking red lights and solve for that, then do you have it be less regular for normal red lights?
They already got the existing system to handle both. So
well, you're saying version 11?
Yeah.
But this system thinks
version 11 and 12. The other versions of version 12 handled it fine.
Okay, but I'm saying once again, does solving for one thing make the other thing worse potentially? I think that's a possibility.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I hope you're right. Obviously, if you're right, then we're.
I know I'm right because I've seen it work in version 11 and version 12.
But version 12 is the only one that works this way.
Yeah. So version 12 handled red lights fine in the old builds, and it handled blinking red lights.
But I guess because we only have 3 versions. Have you had 3 versions or 2?
This is the 3rd.
You've experienced all 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying, if a regression is possible, would we even know yet?
What do you mean if a regression is possible?
If they have to correct for, again, flashing red lights, could it regress on a regular red light? Would you even know based on 3 versions? And it sounds like yes, you probably would. If the way that the neural nets work, that's possible or likely for a regression to occur.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a showstopper, obviously. It's just a minor thing they have to retrain for. I mean, it may not be that quick because they may have to find more clips and train it. And yes, of course, if you don't curate the data set properly, then it is possible for one thing.
I just went around that cardboard box really well.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So, if you don't train and curate the data set carefully, then it is possible for one thing to interfere with the other. Mm-hmm. But that's really what their whole process is not only training it, but then also verifying it, making sure it works well.
Mm-hmm. So that was a relatively aggressive yellow light stop. Mm-hmm. I probably would have gone through that. I'm pretty sure you would have gone through that.
Yeah, like I said, all versions of version 12 have been more likely to stop at yellows, even when it is resulting in harsh braking.
Have you had it go through,
It does go through yellow lights at times when it's appropriate.
Really early.
When it has time to do it, it can do it, but it biases more towards stopping compared to version 11, which, would always sort of go more rather than braking that harshly. And I expect that to be something they can...
Pedestrians? Okay.
Wow.
I mean, they stopped, but they were they were in a place where someone might think they were going to go.
I mean, that was sort of interesting because most drivers would not stop and let them go there. But...
or would have just biased towards the center and went around just in case they cut.
Right.
Yeah, they walked.
But it was able to read their intentions. And it actually knew that they wanted to cross the street. Mm-hmm. Even before I necessarily realized it.
I think a big part of it that might have been they were in an area of what would be considered road rather than sidewalk too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're walking in our direction. They were stopping when we stopped. And then they came to a complete stop. We stayed stopped when they walked. Mm-hmm.
So, I think if they just gave it a random selection of clips, it would probably almost always run the yellow lights, right?
That's fair. That's a good point.
So they had to give it a selection of clips that were extremely biased towards what is not regular behavior. So they said, okay, let's start it out by just showing it people stopping at yellows, right? Because they don't want it to learn. Okay, this is interesting.
It's a pedestrian that should stop.
Looks like kind of a homeless guy.
Yeah.
and kind of, you know, going just right in front of our car, and it stopped and waited.
Wearing all black at night.
Yeah. So yeah, good, you know, capability. Definitely great pedestrian detection capabilities.
In what was perceived sometimes to be that blind spot. That was right.
Yeah.
Right by our A pillar here, from
right.
my perspective.
Yeah. So, you know, I think they're being overly cautious in their data set curation. They're showing it clips of people stopping at yellow, even though that's not representative of what humans actually do. It can learn bad behaviors if you just show it what humans really do. So they kind of need to show it a little bit of a fiction of how they want it to drive rather than just how people really drive. And that's what I think is resulting in the behavior where it's stopping at yellows a little more than, you know, what's natural.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here again we're seeing this behavior. I'm going to hold the accelerator.
You're helping it out. So that's something again, like, training it on those flashing reds.
And, you know, I have no doubt that they're going to be able to get it to handle flashing reds.
Absolutely. No, it's just a matter
other versions have handled it, but it does seem to be something that's tripping up this build right now.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, I clearly don't drive through the financial district at night enough, because I've maybe experienced this once before, but I've never thought much about it before.
Okay, I'm going to push the accelerator again.
Yep. That Camry handled it better than we did there. I know this is something I was impressed by our first time getting on and off the highway.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a confusing on-ramp here. It's not necessarily clear how to get on it. There's another street you can turn right onto over there. Look at that acceleration. That's really a Tesla.
Really strong and smooth. Have you been to the new Electrify America station right down there?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's right down there.
I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah. Get your adapters ready, people. Nice merging. Nice acceleration. Up to 57 in what it perceives as a 50.
So I told it to go 15% over.
Perfect.
Okay, a guy cut in front of us. No problem.
Curve, but...
Now we're going around that guy.
And you've got it on the aggressive mode right now, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, that felt smooth. I had to ask because I just was curious. Comfortably in the middle lane here. We're gonna have to merge to the right eventually, but after this traffic would be best.
Yeah, so we're about 1 mile away from Cesar Chavez, where we're gonna exit.
Turned on the blinker at kind of the perfect time once it was clear of the Prius.
Right. It's really good about that.
Merges are so smooth. I think they're smoother than I merge.
Yeah.
That's the way that's like better than human. The freeway merges are incredible. It's so gentle. Like, I didn't realize I was merging poorly until I experienced FSD12 merging.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is just going to be killer for road trips.
But I mean, like I said, a lot of it's like human or like comparable to human. Those merges feel better than what I do. All right, exiting onto Cesar Chavez. Kind of confused there. It really seemed to get in the lane.
Banking a little far right.
Yeah, it really seemed to really want to get into the lane before the split, which kind of makes sense because it's not a dotted lane split, it is a solid lane split. Here's another one, and...
That was not good.
Yeah.
Looked like it was a little indecisive about what lane to go in, and there was a barrier in the center.
It was trying to get right, but it had to get right faster.
And that's an intersection that I've seen 11 and previous versions of 12 handle fine, so not sure what exactly was going wrong there.
Yeah, and I want to comment that you did a good job taking over. You were ready to take over and you let it go kind of close, but once you needed to take over, you took over. It wants to go right here.
Oh, it was a little over the curb there, it looks like.
I've gone over the curb there. That curb comes way far out.
Yeah.
We're on York Street right now, and that curb comes way far out.
Looks like we got some construction equipment here.
Yeah, I appreciate that you like waited to let it find out, or let us find out whether or not it was going to be too dangerous, and you took over aggressively, quickly.
Yeah, I know how to take over. I've seen some shit. I've been testing this thing for 3 years.
I'm just encouraging those who watch your videos to do the same. Always be ready to take over, because it's not fully self-driving yet. It's not autonomous yet.
And you can have like 3 great drives, and then you just encounter some issue or something.
Yeah, you did that all very well. Actually, I was complimenting.
It's funny, we were live and we had pretty good results, and then as soon as we go off live, we're seeing all these issues pop up.
Yeah, and most of them haven't been bad issues. The red lights are the only one that was like, oh, that's poorly designed.
Right.
And then maybe that, obviously that.
I could see that being addressed in like a 12.3.1 or something.
Yeah. That center divide thing, that's obviously, that was the first real concerning situation we've been in tonight.
Yeah, but I think, there's a chance it probably would have just gone on one side or the other. Yes. It can make some pretty abrupt movements, but obviously didn't want to find out. And, I think it's, I forgot, I lost my train of thought.
All good. Overall, smooth, comfortable, still needs human interventions occasionally. But when it's just driving on normal roads, it's better than it's ever been. It's better than a Waymo. And it's doing things, again, I think the freeway thing is something that, again, when we talk about like what is our comparable, Waymo's not yet going on the highway for us. This is going on the highway, getting off the highway fairly well, with the exception of a very sharp right-hand turn.
Yeah, it's, kind of a grab bag with FSD. You ask it to do a drive, you don't know what you're going to get, You could have a number of things happen, a number of scenarios. So it's really hard to draw a conclusion from even just a few drives. You really have to give it a lot of different scenarios, day, night, urban, suburban, to really get a full sense of what the performance is like.
But this is impressive. It's comfortable. I can see myself using this a lot.
Yeah.
Knowing that, again, I may
have
to
more
take
than
over
11
occasionally, but the comfort is the big thing between 11. I felt like I was testing something that wasn't yet ready with 11. This feels like, I know what I have to do, but for example, adaptive cruise control. I know that if someone cuts me off, I might have to take over.
Right.
This feels like I prefer this to my own driving at times.
Yeah, if they can
if
they can get this to a point where you don't have these takeovers. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting scenario. There was an ambulance here trying to pull out while we were trying to pull in, and so it stopped and waited for it because it was a little bit tight.
Yeah,
which is a very human thing to do. I feel like 11 would have just went for it anyway.
And I might have gone for it, but I might have waited depending on if I knew where the curb was, or I think the ambulance might have been over our lane line. So, all right, wonderful.
Well, glad I could give you your first V12 ride. Take it easy.
Thank you very much. I'm back home at the Zuckerberg. Take me back in.